You don't owe anyone an explanation. Not for your moves, not for your plans, not for your silence, and not for your transformation. The moment you begin explaining yourself, you start giving pieces of yourself away. You trade clarity for confusion. You trade power for permission. You trade vision for validation. Most people speak too soon. They speak too much, and they speak to the wrong audience, trying to be understood by those who are committed to misunderstanding them. They think sharing is progress, but in truth, sharing is leakage. It's like digging a hole in your own bucket, then wondering why it never fills. You don't need to justify your grind. You don't need to post every move. You don't need to narrate your mission. The seed doesn't announce itself before sprouting. It works in silence, in darkness, in patience, and then only then does it rise. Why are you telling people your next steps? Why are you giving the blueprint to those who haven't built anything? Why are you broadcasting your birth pains before the world even knows you're pregnant with greatness? There is power in silence, but it's a discipline, and most don't have it. They feel the need to fill silence with noise, to explain what they're doing, to defend their path, to prove their worth. But listen, those who truly know where they're going don't stop to convince others along the way. They just go, and the results speak for them. When you talk too much, you delay your own rise. You invite opinions that weaken your conviction. You open the door to jealousy, mockery, and resistance. Not everyone wants to see you win. Some just want to see your playbook so they can sabotage the game before it starts. The world is addicted to noise, to attention, to clout, to fake depth dressed as insight. But the ones who shake the world, they move in silence. They let the silence grow roots, and the roots grow strength. Every time you overshare, you dilute your fire. You take the sharp edge off your hunger. You feed people who are only there to eat, not build. And then you wonder why you feel empty, real. Creators don't show the sketch, they unveil the masterpiece. Real warriors don't shout their strategy, they just win. And real leaders don't ask for permission to lead. Talkers are addicted to validation, but validation is a drug. It feels good for a moment, but weakens your spine in the long run. If you need people to clap before you move, you'll never move when it matters. If you need to be understood at every step, you'll never reach the place that requires solitude. Some mountains are climbed alone. Some victories are born in isolation. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your process. They haven't paid the price to be there. There's a reason predators hunt in silence. They don't announce, they don't explain, they don't negotiate. They move with certainty, and they strike with purpose. Why would you broadcast your becoming? Why would you narrate your inner work to an audience that hasn't earned the right to hear it? Not everyone who listens is listening to lift you. Some are listening to learn how to limit you. Some are listening to gather ammunition. Some are just waiting for the right moment to doubt you out loud. Let them doubt. Let them assume. Let them gossip in circles. You keep building in straight lines. You don't need applause. You need focus. You don't need congratulations. You need commitment. You don't need understanding. You need momentum. Every time you speak too soon, you weaken the seed. You invite frost before it's rooted. You open the soil before the roots are deep, and nature doesn't reward premature exposure. So guard your vision. Speak only when it strengthens. Move only when it matters. Reveal only what reinforces your reality. Do not post your pain for sympathy. Do not announce your plans for attention. Do not explain your discipline to the undisciplined. They won't get it, and they don't need to. Your journey isn't a public performance. It's sacred, private, powerful, and only those who truly honor the path should be allowed near it. You are not a brand. You are a builder. You are not a product. You are a process. You are not here to be liked. You are here to rise. Let your results be the only statement. Let your fruit be the only proof. Let your life be the loudest sound that comes from your silence. Do not waste breath on explanations. Use it to breathe deeper into your own becoming. Use it to sharpen your inner clarity. Use it to expand your vision. You don't owe the world transparency. You owe yourself triumph. And triumph rarely announces itself before arrival. Protect your power. Silence is not weakness, it's strength under control. Still waters run deep. Still minds birth revolutions. So when they ask, "What are you up to?" smile and say, "You'll see." And when they do see, make sure it was worth the silence. You are not here to perform. You are here to produce. Your worth isn't measured by how often you speak, but by the weight of what you build in silence. Everyone's telling their story too early, posting every goal, every step, every morning routine, like exposure is progress. It's not. If the oven door opens too soon, the cake collapses. So does your growth when exposed to the world before it's baked. Ideas are fragile in infancy. They need silence to mature. They need solitude to strengthen. They need stillness to survive the storm of opinion. Speak only when the roots are too deep to be pulled by doubt. The loud ones get attention, but the quiet ones get results. You ever see a lion ask for applause? A lion doesn't explain itself. It acts. It dominates. It walks with the kind of confidence that doesn't need to be spoken. You have that in you. But you must choose silence over spectacle, discipline over display. You don't need to impress the world. You need to impress yourself. You need to look in the mirror and know, I did the work, even when no one was watching. Stop inviting spectators to your process. They'll slow you down. They'll ask questions that create doubt. They'll give advice they don't live by. They'll demand updates they haven't earned. You don't owe updates. You owe action. The deeper your roots, the taller your tree can grow. But no one sees the roots. No one claps for the digging. That's why most stop early, because the unseen work is the hardest and the most important. Everyone wants to be known, but the wise want to be effective. Everyone wants recognition, but the wise want results. You have to ask yourself, do you want applause or do you want impact? Because you rarely get both at the same time. Impact is forged in dark places, in quiet mornings, in late nights, in long seasons with no witnesses. If you can't walk through silence, you can't carry greatness. Sometimes God hides you on purpose, not to punish you, but to prepare you. He hides you so your roots deepen, so your identity solidifies, so your gift matures. But most sabotage that process. They rush it, they expose it, they explain it too early, and lose it altogether. Silence is sacred. It's the womb of transformation. It's the forge of self-mastery. It's the birthplace of greatness. Don't confuse being overlooked with being forgotten. The world doesn't need to see you yet, but you need to see you clearly. And that vision comes in stillness, not in noise. Keep your power close. Don't scatter it by talking. Don't weaken it by explaining. Don't give it away for likes, views, or attention. There's a version of you that's unstoppable, but they only emerge when you're no longer performing. If you have to be seen to stay motivated, you're not ready yet. If you have to be praised to stay focused, you're not rooted yet. Let silence become your sanctuary. Let the grind be your gospel. Let the results be your roar. The moment you stop explaining, you start accelerating. The moment you protect your energy, you multiply it. The moment you stop telling people what you're about to do, you actually start doing it. Don't confuse exposure with elevation. A spotlight can burn you if you're not ready, and the crowd will cheer you today and forget you tomorrow. You weren't built to be famous. You were built to be faithful. You weren't made to be seen. You were made to produce, to solve, to shift, to shake the ground where you stand. But you can't do that if you're addicted to being heard. Silence isn't a lack of expression. It's mastery of expression. It's knowing when to speak, and more importantly, when not to. Not everyone who asks deserves an answer. Not everyone who watches deserves access. Not everyone who claps is on your side. Some are just close enough to copy you, close enough to slow you down, close enough to make you doubt what you know. And the more you speak, the more you leak. Power doesn't need promotion. Purpose doesn't need permission. And progress doesn't need a publicist. Work quietly. Let your character shout. Let your work echo. Let your legacy thunder long after you've passed by. Don't defend your dreams. Deliver them. Don't argue your vision. Achieve it. Don't explain the mountain. Climb it, one step at a time, without a crowd, without applause, without leaking your soul along the way. Because when the time is right, when you've built in silence and refined in the dark, the world won't just hear about you. They'll feel you, and they'll wonder where you came from. You came from the quiet. You came from the discipline. You came from the silence they mocked, the solitude they misunderstood, and by the time they realize it, you'll already be gone. On to the next level they still think is a myth. Keep your plans private. Let your results go public. That is the way of the master. That is the path of the builder. That is the voice of your future self, saying, protect your power before it leaks.